Hello again. Let's get this hair off my keyboard. We are continuing with this, as you can tell. Hopefully it should. It will be after I killed the collector. I haven't experienced crash that on the iOS version. In the boss missions in the later game boss missions, it crashes a lot, like 3 times in the same mission. You have to listen to him. Right. Let's try this again. No? You did it again. So OBS still recording. It is still recording black screen. Good. One new item in your inventory. What do I get? I have to wait for Steam to sync. Oh, the grave robber. We haven't even found one of them yet. Oh, come on, Steam Cloud Sync. Right. It was the opening cinematic which I've skipped. Yes, blah 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 blah. I'm assuming it's recording. It is recording properly. Alright, we'll try smashing it open with a spade, because apparently using a key crashes the game. I don't think this would be a very interesting series if I just repeatedly crashed the game over and over again for like 50 episodes. It would be funny for like the first 2 minutes. Probably not, actually, but definitely not for 50 episodes. Maybe if I only went for 49, it might be better. But,
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
No, that crashes it as well. Okay, I'm going to try just opening it. You know what I'm going to have to do? Disable Steam Cloud synchronization. And then hopefully it doesn't reset the game, save game. If it does, I'll just have to re-enable Steam Cloud synchronization. But this should, I'll see if just opening the cabinet does it. I'll try using a key at full light, I guess. But we found a bug.
Ruin has come.
It's at least the loading times aren't too long. Like if this were XCOM 2, when it takes 20 minutes to load a mission, this would be horrible. And when XCOM 2 crashes, it's pretty horrible because you have to load it and it takes forever. But
Pace out the halls of your lineage
right,
once
if I just
now foreign.
no, okay. That answers that question. Three minutes of me repeatedly crashing the game. I guess we're not opening this cabinet. Right. Campaign Fluffy. Whew.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
We'll see, I saw on the stream I watch, there was a very similar bug. Where it would crash repeatedly on Escape doesn't actually pause the game. I do. Ah, there we go. No, I don't need the credits. Sure, all of these people are very wonderful. Audio is low. No, I want this one. I need to swap those around, which is a bit of a pain. Another thing. I mean, when I complain about this game, I wish to make it clear, I love this game. I think it is a fantastic game. I've been playing it essentially non-stop on my iPad for like a couple of weeks. I think it's a very, very good game. Very, very well done. A lot of very, very cool mechanics. Nice. So when I pick out, much like if anybody watches, anybody knows Zero Punctuation, when I'm making criticisms, they're very nitpicky. It's things that I wish you could do this, but like they don't really detract much from the actual game. But you can't like drag the skills around. Now I'll show you what I mean after this fight. I'll rearrange the Plague Doctor's skills. It's just a bit awkward. Maybe you can drag around and I just never realised. So I can't camp. You can camp even when you've got victory skin open, because it's the end of the mission I can't. Although that does tell me that it is the end of the mission. Don't need those. Right, can you just... No. You can unequip them and then re-equip them. And that puts them at the end. So essentially I want that one. Essentially when you equip them it puts them in the end. So you have to do, if you do that, then that will put them in that order. Which is just a bit awkward. We're gonna camp. Yeah. So I'm camping at the end. Yes. Feast. Heals them, reduces stress. Now. Nobody has anything to prevent nighttime ambush. Use Revel. Which debuffs everybody. Essentially everybody gets drunk, so everybody... They take less stress, but they're less accurate and slower. Nobody has any diseases. You can't encourage yourself. No, I guess you could use charms. Heal them for 5, it's not really worth it. I don't know if this can crit. I mean, I've tried that before. I was like, can I just... use that, whatever. So we might get ambushed here. Because I didn't have anything to prevent nighttime ambush. Oh no.
May we find victory.
Right, if this crashes the game as well. No.
A fortune waiting to be spent. The great ruins belong
Yay.
to us.
What's that?
And we
Complete a
will
medium
find
quest.
whatever
Achievements.
secrets they hold.
So yeah, you can sell all the stuff that you brought back for the loss. The supplies you don't use, you sell when you get back. It's not too bad. That's pretty bad. Actually, no, that's not bad at all, because your main source of damage is the blight, and like you're only hitting for like 1 or 2, so minus 5% damage. Minus 5% of like 1 is pretty irrelevant, because it will round and deal 1.
The terrible wonders I have come to
Unlock the blacksmith and the guild.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
Right. Who have I got that's new? What do you have? You don't have... You are pointless. You are not great. You have your only good ability, which is that one. You need that and that. Right. The guild.
Make no mistake.
Allows you to upgrade
We
combat
will
skills.
face ever greater threats.
This allows you to
Our
upgrade
soldiers
your
must
weapons
be
and
ready.
armor. The main thing you can do here
The bellows blast once again. The forge
is...
stands ready to make weapons of war.
I need that. I want that. You, I want that, and I want that. I want that. And I want that, really. Oh, you don't need that because you've got illumination. Right, you need retribution. And ramparts, nice, and defender. You need sniper's mark, and you need rallying flare. Invigorating Vapors is pretty good. You need Divine Comfort. Right. I don't need blinding. I don't use blinding gas. That's a stress heal. Right. You don't need Mace Bash. Just want to keep Illuminations alright. He said that, I might as well get Dazzling Light if I bought it. I have no money now. I need Rampart, Defender and Retribution. That's useful for like one of the bosses, because it just makes him pointless. Oh, there we go. So, I have no money. We go to the Wield. Gives me deeds. I need more. You, as I said, you always need deeds. Now, the Antiquarian is one of the ones of whom I only need one. The Antiquarian is very interesting. You don't put in the second spot in the Bounty Hunter. Just want to put the Antiquarian in the second spot. I put you in the second spot, but then I don't want the Antiquarian. I like to put the Antiquarian at the back. I can use that for anywhere. So I could put you here. And then put like... do that. I mean, it's a bit of a stupid party setup. Because you have no health, so you might die. I'm going to try this. Blight resist. You can have this. You have a movement skill. So might as well. Three. Yeah, that'll do. Wield, I can never. I think you need bandages and anti-venom. Ruins, you only need bandages, and the Cove you also only need bandages. You also need herbs for the Cove. So.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
We're going to go this way and hope that this isn't a room battle. Because I have to go to this place. And there's no point, there's no way of knowing if one way is better than the other. Right, Antiquarian. If the Antiquarian interacts with a Curio, she gets an antique. 500 gold. So that's 500 extra gold just because I interacted with the Antiquarian. Also works on battles, and there's another one, a better one that she can get sometimes, which is worth, I think it's 2,000, it might be 1,500 or something. So Retribution marks himself and does less damage, but it activates Riposte, which means whenever he's attacked, he will attack like this. He'll attack back. It has minus 40% damage on it. Protect me, force guard by ally. So he can do it. He can guard. If you guard somebody, then whenever they get attacked, if someone attacks them, attack you instead. This is unique. It forces somebody to guard her, but it also buffs their protection and their dodge. So this is how I like to use the Antiquarian. Could use the stone, maybe. You go crit heal. So he's got 20% protect. So he's got, in theory, will dodge and not will take very little damage in general. Due to being able to dodge a lot and also just having high protection. And then he'll just riposte. You can stack this. It does stack. The mark wears off after a turn. Then you use Crush. Or well, at least I do anyway. Right, Sniper Shot can't hit the front, so he's Blind Fire. Blind Fire is also interesting. If I shoot a corpse, it will fire at a random target, but it can't shoot. It can't hit corpses. Does less damage, I believe. But it also buffs you. So yeah, rare antique here. Which is worth more. Essentially, you want to interact with all curios with the Antiquarian. Because if you interact with somebody else... Oh, also, having the Antiquarian in your party means that gold stacks up to 2,500 instead of 1,750. I'm turning this down. It sounds too loud. Although, no, because these earphones are sealed, as it were. So I can't hear my own voice very loudly. 4, I should have shot this guy. Oh no. Don't get rabies. Actually no, I don't mind if you get rabies. So if somebody attacks the Antiquarian, they'll attack the man-at-arms instead, which will be good because the man-at-arms will then riposte. 1. That's why it's a bit useless in the early game. So everyone gets stressed out because of the crit. So, because of the guard. I kind of want you to get rabies. This attack can give you rabies. Where's the dodge? So there are also diseases, not just quirks. Like diseases are permanent. I mean, you can remove them. So 0 damage, but it did bleed him. I'm out of bandages.
Give them no quarter.
Plus 60% protection. Dodge it. Thank you. Right.
This expedition at least promises success.
Hopefully we get scouting. Do I have... I don't have holy water. Even this, Antiquarian interacts with it. Free 1,250 gold.
For a task well performed.
It's a bit silly. So this is a room battle, so I have to go here. And if we're lucky, I don't have to go anywhere else. Do I have any herbs? So essentially, the Antiquarian means you just get loads of food, allows you to get loads of extra money.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy.
That she's really bad in combat. This is her best ability by far. Or maybe the other one. There's one that buffs the entire party, the dodge of the entire party. Hopefully the man-at-arms goes before the vessel.
A devastating blow.
Because Rampart moves you forwards. Oh yeah, also when the stun wears off you get a buff of stun resist, because early on in this game's development, it might have been out in early access, I'm not sure. But if it might have been while it was in early access, but I can't remember if it actually ever was. But you used to be able to, you could abuse the stun abilities because you could just stun lock enemies, which, as you can probably imagine, was very broken. So they changed it so that once, if you get stunned, when it wears off, you get a buff, so you're harder to stun, to stop you just stun locking. They don't do any damage, is the thing. I need to upgrade their weapons, but I don't have enough money. I don't think I have enough heirlooms either. There's a crit. So she didn't get crit. She didn't get stressed. It's pretty random. I want the other healer. He just heals for enormous amounts of damage. Sometimes. When I get one, I'll explain. Seemed like that would be useful. This is so he's now got plus 80% protection. Yeah, he has 6% because it wore off. Because it lasts for his turns. It's like it wears off after a certain number of his turns. And same with the guard, so after, it wears off after on the second of his turns after it starts. So it's not tied to her turns, it's tied to his turns. Damn it.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I don't know, but you might. I don't think she particularly gives you extra stuff. Oh yeah, even though I've already cleared the space out, battle spawn and another trap spawn. That's a thing that can happen. Do you still have less health? No. You do now. Oh, I do have a bandage. I need to activate the riposte because that's like the whole point of this party. The Highwayman also has a riposte ability, and it is worth noting that in the somewhat rare situation that both essentially, if you have the Highwayman and the Man-at-Arms, or even just two Man-at-Arms, or if you have multiple units with riposte active, and they get attacked simultaneously. So if somebody uses an attack that hits multiple units, and so multiple units get attacked by. So if like you have a Highwayman here who's also got riposte and somebody attacks the front two, they'll both riposte at the same time, and if it gets a kill, they will both get stress healed. Which is something that I've only ever actually seen happen once. I think it was a Shambler as well. They're hideous. If I find one, I might do it. Nah, maybe I should have done the other one. You're going to nervous stab. See, that was like I'm going to break with the strategy.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled.
Ooh, there you go.
Be beaten. The way is lit.
There is a trap.
The path is clear.
50,
We
50,
require
50,
only
50.
the strength to follow it.
Right, you might get to 100 stress. Although I said that about the Plague Doctor last time, but he didn't. We got a fair amount of walking to do. 2 more food events. Don't touch it. Controls are much nicer on PC. On iOS they're a bit dodgy. It's not. It's like a port, so they're a bit iffy. Like you have to tap on the screen because you can hover over things with the mouse. We just have to, like if I click here, They'll walk backwards, and like you get it if you tap to try and check their trap disarm, because you can't hover your finger over it. Obviously, that doesn't do anything. You have to tap it. Sometimes party starts walking backwards a bit, and then they can get stressed because walking backwards stresses out your party
Nature herself,
because they're walking backwards and they don't know where they can't see what's behind them.
malformed with misintent.
See? Oh no, that's the Shambler. You put a torch on it. I will do it. I will almost certainly do it at some point. Have you got? Yep. I saw her speed changed, and like it went red, which means it went from. They're yellow if they're buffed from their normal. They're red if they're below their normal, so it's below base. These dudes inflict blight. Should have attacked him. But the man at arms does just way more damage. Like, he's already done way more damage. He's done more damage than he would have done if I just used Crush. He's got 2 kills and like injured this dude. Whereas if I'd used Crush, he would have maybe killed 1. So he does more damage if you riposte, which is why you use it.
Foolish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
The other thing you use him for is that he can... There's a special town event that has essentially an enemy who has an attack that will do like 40 damage or something, and you can bring it down to like 5 with the man at arms. This is a trap. Nice. You disarmed it. I'm out of torches. I mean, I could go full snuff the torch for the final fight, because you get more crits and stuff, but like, he's almost got to 100 stress. Dodge it, please don't. Resist it, resist it. Damn it, you're useless from there. Shoot you, hoping for like a massive crit or something. Let's get down, move you back. It does. 94, yes. Oh, there we go. Right. He's become afflicted because he got to 100 stress. So he's now hopeless. Which is bad. Dodge it. Resist it. So essentially you're just gonna be a pain. You can't. Yeah, it'd just be very awkward. I'm trying to get you up to the front so you can. Right. Stress continues to build. Music gets pretty sweet when the torch gets low. Monsters do more damage and stuff. If your stress gets up to 200, they suffer a heart attack, which will pretty much kill them. The dying mechanics are interesting in this. I'll explain them when it happens. She's not going well. Yes.
Adversity can foster hope and resilience.
Yes. Sometimes they become virtuous, which is very nice. So now vigorous gives you. So you have Affliction, minus 10% HP, minus 5 dodge, minus 3 speed, minus 5 accuracy, minus 15% like all of the resists. minus 50% trap disarm chance. Whereas you have +5 speed, +25% for various resists. So essentially they're afflictions are worse than virtues are good.
Death waits.
But on the other hand, virtue is still way better than an affliction. Afflictions also last longer. They last till the end of the mission, or unless you get them down to literally 0 stress. I believe that will remove it. Virtues end when you camp, or at the end of the mission. No, afflictions don't stop at the end of the mission. Actually, you have to put them in stress treatment activity to get rid of it. Oh, don't do that.
Another one falls.
So the slime things is very irritating because they can spawn more of themselves. Ectoplasmic perfusion is the really bad one. Right. So he refused it. That'll do 3 to 5. -5 accuracy. He's still guarding though, but he refused the protection. Now I'm probably going to be unlucky. So she just healed herself because she's virtuous. Because of vigorous. So yeah, because he's afflicted, he just has a chance to say no. Yep, stress everybody else out. But not her, because she's virtuous. Which is what prevents it. He will now do loads of extra damage, well not much, plus 50% damage. Stun, which stunning him removes the guard as well. I was hoping for a massive crit. Dodge it. Ow. I should have this. As long as he doesn't call for reinforcements. Which is a thing.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Whew. Oh no, you need to open it, don't you? Right. Well, nobody died, so it was a success.
The agents of pestilence will yet be driven from our woods.
Is this meh? So yeah, you get a lot of. That's a short mission, and I got 15,000. Is it no longer virtuous, but you're still hopeless. And one of the other ones doesn't tell you what the afflictions do. That's good. That's good. That's not that bad. I mean, that's actually pretty pointless because you don't do any damage. The ones that are good for you are like dodge, I guess.
My obsession caused this great foulness, and it is
Right,
shameful
sort
that
by
I must rely
stress.
upon you to set it right.
Ah, everybody's stressed. Great.
Strong drink, a game of chance, and
Can
companionship.
upgrade the abbey.
The rush of life.
Actually, is it stress eater, lazy eye? Okay. There goes all of my money. Can't upgrade that. And I can't upgrade anything. don't have any crests. Could I turn? I could turn bus into crests. How many crests would I get? 9.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities.
It's not very efficient to
We can use
swap
this.
them like that. But I haven't over-spec'd. I've got 2 of them, one 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 of them. One of them. 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I need to do this. Oh no, gold. No, you can't do it when they're in treatment activities of any kind. You got you got withstand, which is the important one. You have everything. Abominations are very interesting. I still don't have an occultist. It's enabled. You need target whistle. That's all you need. You need thrown dagger. What's this? Oh yes. While I'm at it. Oh no. I can lock this in so it's permanent. It costs a lot of money. You know something that's particularly bad? Stress Eater's kind of annoying. I can't fit you in anyway, I don't have enough room. Nobody has any diseases. Kind of at a loss of what to do at this point. I'm like, well, I can't. I'll decide what we're going to do next time, I guess. We don't want to take. I can't take the Abomination because I don't have an occultist. Oh, Abomination. I'll explain the Abomination. The Abomination. Let's tuck it out. Oh, he's like kind of almost like a werewolf. He turns into that. So so you can transform into beast mode and then back into human. You can't transform more than that. In human form, he has manacles, which is a stun, beast bile, which is blight, and absolution, which is just a heal. They're not great. Beast form is rake, which hits the front 2 and buffs itself, which is interesting. Rage, which is kind of a base attack. Slam, which moves you forwards and knocks them back, but does less damage. So generally, you just rage. Slam can get you back if you're in the 3rd spot. So I guess you could transform. I guess you could put him in the 3rd spot and open with a transform slam, but then you'd need to have somebody in the 2nd spot. Maybe you better just put him in the 2nd spot because then you could rage immediately. He stresses everybody out when he transforms, and he gets stressed every turn while in beast form. When he transforms back, he heals a bit, and stress heals everybody for 1, but he stresses them for like 10 when he transforms out. The main thing about him is that because he's an abomination, religious classes will not go with him. So religious ones, the Crusader is like essentially religious is like they're kind of Christian. Would be the religion. The Crusader, the Leper, the Vessel, and is there another one? Essentially, the Vessel. No, you just won't go. And if you get rid of him, if you put him in, you can't put the Abomination in. I don't think you say anything else. You could be saying the same thing. So so the Leper will refuse, the Vessel will refuse, the Crusader would refuse, but anybody else is fine with him. But that means that you have to use the other healer, or go without a healer, and I would not recommend going without a healer. It can be done, but it's a bit awkward. I could just send him to the Darkest Dungeon on his own. Not all heroes. Yeah. if you retreat, I haven't done retreating from missions. If you retreat from a mission, everyone gets stressed out. If you retreat from the darkest dungeon, you lose one of your heroes because they have to stay behind to, like, fend off the enemies long enough for your the rest to get out. You know, as it were. Unless there's only one person left, in which case they don't die. They get out because it'd be pointless otherwise. Man at Arms probably be good for the second one. I've never been into the darkest dungeon. But yeah, now I'm at 40 minutes. I've waffled long enough. Money. Doesn't say what gold's for. You are not ready. You are having a drink. Well, I don't know what you're doing actually. What are you doing? You're gambling. I did want to, sometimes they can, you know, start. I mean, I'll get to that. But for now, I'm going to stop waffling and end this video. Thank you for listening to me waffle. If you're still watching, goodbye.